We obviously tell you when you should do things because it's the best way that everything works out. Now, I know some of you like to get creative and I want to be different, but sometimes being different makes things a little more complicated and doesn't make any sense, right?
So a lot of things during a reception are always based around the food courses because, again, the staff need enough time to serve everything and your guests need enough time to eat everything. So when we do a timeline, we are always keeping that stuff in mind first before we put in all of the traditions. There are some things that usually are always the same. So cake cutting or dessert is usually served the hour right before the last hour of the reception. So if your wedding ends at 11, your cake is going to come out at 10. That's just the way that it is across the board.
But you can also, instead of, like some people like to stop the cake, make a big deal about it just to cut your cake.
You don't have to do that.
You don't have to do that.
You don't have to do that. You
what
do not
can
have
they
to
do?
have formal cake cutting.
Right. You can cut it off, get your photo, do it on the side, and keep the party going.
Absolutely. A lot of people, what they're doing now is doing past desserts. Instead of making their guests sit down and eat the dessert, they're bringing them to them on the dance floor. So you might get chocolate-covered strawberries or milk and cookies or fun little mini ice creams to eat while you're on the dance floor. It's just that way you don't have to stop dancing to go eat.
It's amazing.
It's another way of just incorporating fun elements into your wedding.
And that's what she's also there for too, as you can see, to help you, but also give you ideas. So a lot of stuff that you might not think of that, you know, is difficult, Kelly will make it easier for you.
Another thing that we really have to consider, again, when doing the timeline, is that it usually takes about 10 minutes to serve a meal and another 20 minutes for your guests to eat it. So yeah, of course, salad doesn't usually take as long, and so we might make some exceptions when it comes to that, but at least with your entrees, it will take about 10 minutes for all of your guests to be served and another 20 minutes for them to eat. So those are always things that we have to consider when doing your timeline. Also keep in mind that a lot of your guests have just come in from cocktail hour. So doing all of your meals up front might not be a good idea because your guests won't be hungry yet. So we do have some clients that say, oh, I want to have all of my meals done right in the beginning of the night, that way we can get it over with and leave more room for dancing later on. Your guests aren't going to want to come from cocktail hour where they've just stuffed their face with food,
right.
you know, to their salad course, to their sorbet or whatever is coming out in the middle, then to their entrees. They're just not going to want to eat that much in such a short amount of period. So we do try and scatter the timing of everything.
So this is an idea that I have floating around in here, and I'm sure you guys at home might have it. Kel, give me something like a story. What went wrong? What went right? Something funny? Give me something juicy, Kel.
Well, as wedding planners, you know, we definitely experience a lot of stories, a lot of horror stories, a lot of things that do go wrong on the wedding day. Hopefully we're able to fix everything. And there is one story that I'm thinking of that you will especially appreciate because you are a DJ. We were working at a wedding venue. It was a local wedding venue. It was a small wedding. There was only about 30 people in this entire wedding party. But it was a wonderful day, and it was at this small little inn. The DJ came, and he was setting up everything. I introduced myself. We kind of went over everything for the day, and then I went back and assisted the bride. Well, it's about a half hour before the ceremony begins, and the guests are starting to arrive, and I notice there's no music playing. So I go out, and I'm looking for the DJ, and I don't see him. So I call him. He's not answering his phone. I'm thinking maybe he's just getting changed, because you guys know, you come in different equipment, you know, and get changed later on right before you perform. But I could not find him anywhere. I'm outside looking for him. DJ has gone missing. So as the guests are coming in, I'm realizing, okay, we have no music. There's no music for the ceremony. We open up the bar early because I have to wait for the DJ to come back.
Open the bar.
You know, so we open the bar early so nobody realizes that there's no music. I go upstairs and I tell the bride that we're going to be starting a little bit later because guests are still strolling in and I don't want her to come in the middle of everybody walking into the wedding ceremony. I finally get in touch with the DJ. He calls me up. He's in a panic. He had to run back to his studio and pick something up because it was forgotten, and his car ran out of gas. He was stuck on the parkway. He was not going to make it in time for the ceremony and likely wouldn't be there until the reception an hour later. So I look around and I said, you know, all of your equipment's set up, correct? He's like, yes. I'm like, could you talk somebody through it? So I grab a waiter, put him on the phone with the DJ, and the waiter became our DJ for the day. Bride and groom had no idea until later on in the evening when I finally had to inform them of what happened. But everything went smoothly. There was a little bit of
your mixing?
Yeah, with the mixing of the changing of the songs and stuff before each ceremony, you know, the procession and everything. But other than that, it was something the bride and groom had no idea. The guests had no idea. But if anybody were to look back, it would have been a full waiter in his full waiter garb. Performing, being DJing our wedding. So that was something that, you know, in stressful situations, that's really where a planner comes in. A good planner won't freak out in those moments. We'll just kind of look around, see what we're working with, and try and figure it out.
To me, see, that's the event planner where you guys stood out. I mean, that's amazing. And it's funny, the things that you know, but nobody would notice. but back there it was,
Oh, I was freaking out on the inside.
Oh, I bet you got the chef back there, mixing, tunes.
He did great, though. He did a fantastic job.
To me, again, it just states, get yourself a planner. It's going to make everything that much easier and helpful, and anything that goes wrong, you seem to have that all covered.
Hopefully.
We're gonna take a little trip over to the prop shop and see what you have in that bag and what else goes on in there. Come on!